very good afternoon. Welcome back to Ostersund for the second race of the day. We've just seen the men's sprint earlier on. I won't give away the result just in case you want to catch up with that later on. But an excellent race and very different from the individual. Different men on form, some having broken away the rust from the summer season. Well, we're back with a women's sprint. Training goes on all the way through the season, and we'll see how well she fares today. -1 the air temperature at the moment. It will get colder as this race goes on, but nice to see some sub-zero temperatures for the first time this season, and the snow in much better condition than it was on Thursday when they raced in the individual race. Wait, and if you're late you lose the time, so good to see her in the starting gate with just a couple of seconds to spare. 7.5 kilometers the distance. It's not going to take them long to complete this one. It only took them 46 to do the 15k, so we're looking sub 23 minutes, could even get down to 22, but when you see what the men's cross country have just done, that doesn't seem that quick. What were they? Under 23 minutes, the winner for a 10k race.
Quite amazing, and well, 2.5 before they shoot in the lying down position, the prone position, then 2.5 kilometers, the same loop, stand position, and then a final 2.5 kilometers to the finish.
Hugberg going number 5. This is Sophie Boilly of France, and they've also got Boyer going at number 30. Chevalier and Bescon go 45-46. Bescon, I think,
and going all the way to Novosibirsk in Siberia when she married Ilya Chernusov. Took bronze medal at the Olympics in the 50.
Kristina Guzik, formerly Palka, and good start position for her. Nice to be in the first group. I'm not actually convinced that it's going to get any slower as this race goes. In the individual race, where obviously you do more shooting, the shooting counts for more. Daria Domracheva, doesn't matter, any distance, any format, skis, roller skis, doesn't matter. She's got what it takes, and she has that cardiovascular system that you have to have, but she's also got the efficiency. She has the technique, and that's one of her secrets. But really, Mike, you can say she's technically brilliant, but also she's much stronger than she appears.
She seems to, and I remember 5-6 years ago when we were watching her trainer up in the same area in Vuokatti in north of Finland. She was strong in the gym then, the weight she was shifting, the movement she was making, so she's increased all of that, and that has helped her become the more complete biathlete. But can she win again today? She said she wants to win every race this season. Is it possible?
Well, that's what she said a month or so ago, and in a recent interview she says, look, I'm just going to take each race as it comes, but I will be going out to win each one. But she'll take it a race at a time. Hopefully she's probably forgotten about the win she had a couple of days ago and is just focusing on this 10k. This is the corner where I think we're likely to see a faller or two.
Well, did you hear the scream there? She was petrified, and it's the bumps, I think. It throws you back with the rifle heavy on your shoulders. You need to be well balanced over your skis.
Sophie Boilly going through similar sort of time to Sanova. Nothing much between them as they come down. This is that same corner. Now, the French are usually fairly handy when it comes to alpine skiing. That's how it's done. Stay nice and tight on the early part, buys you a bit of space for the second half of the corner, and she stays low throughout.
That was much better.
Half a second gained, and she's done nothing. Rosanna Crawford for Canada, and she's got a good cheer. 51st here last year. She did a whole lot better in the individual. That was a really good race from her. 16th position, 1:0:02 she shot, and a clean shoot today. And
Tyrell Eckhoff, but then it's a long way back to the next Norwegian. Tyrell Eckhoff's what, 7th position?
Yeah, Eckhoff looks good. I think she's skiing really well. Shooting's really been her.
2 Norwegians in the top 50, and well, the second Norwegian's down in 49th position.
Yeah, difficult times. It was difficult times for Germany last year. They had their worst season for 20 years. They only had 3 podium finishes in the whole season. They just had 1 win through Andrea Henkel, and she got the other podiums as well. So it was a miserable time for them. On the good side, Miriam Gosner is back in action, not skiing her best, but she is back. Was the word that Neuner might come out of retirement? No.
I heard that rumour. I mean, they're bound to want her. She's still a young lady. She could still race well, without a doubt.
Tomrasheva 4.2 inside.
I expected more than 4.2.
Yeah, I agree. I thought I was expecting to see a little more. She looks a little sluggish compared to Thursday, but maybe different tactic being used.
I wonder if she took another tumble. She's taking a good inside line there, but it always throws you out this corner.
Yeah, she looks a little nervous. I think that fall has certainly had an effect on her. She was more worried about her skis than she was about her time. But you can understand that if she's on her best pair of race skis, it would be a bad blow to damage them in the very first race of the season. Ostersund first to leave and first to return.
She can select any lane in the prone part of the range, which is down to lane 15. So she's opting for mid-prone part of the shooting range, obviously estimating that that's the best lane with the least wind.
Gabriela Sokolova just about a start for the Czech Republic. She's got competition in her own team, let alone in all the other teams, with Vitkova going so well. Well, this is going to calm the nerves of the coaches if all five go down, as they do. And no excuses for anyone else now. The wind much calmer than it was. Even the conditions just slightly better than it was for the men's earlier on today. So expect to see a number going clear. Mike, last year, the majority of women's sprint races were won with just one miss, so a 90% hit race. There were a couple where they got, I think there were 3 races out of 9 or 10 if you include the Olympics, where they went clear. But no one won a sprint race in the women's missing more than one.
The likes of the ski speed we're seeing, Boilly, we kind of expected her to shoot well. She's 86% prone shooter. Oh dear.
Nowakowska, first to go down.
See how she protected her rifle. She broke early to fall forward to make sure the rifle didn't fall, or that she didn't fall on a rifle. But what, losing 15 seconds there?
At least. It wasn't the worst part of the hill. If she'd fallen down the bottom, it would have been 25 seconds because you've lost all your momentum. But she had a little bit of hill to play with and therefore could get some speed back up. Guzik for Poland, just rattling through her targets. Now, 7:29. Where's a good stage of the routine, Mike, to take a time split as they get to the knees, or when they put the rifle in the shoulder?
I think generally, in the terms of the range times, they're looking at from stopping moving or rifle strap off the shoulder until
Elizabeth Högberg. But she's thrown one wide as Daria Tomrasheva, the lady in yellow, is the World Cup leader after the race on Thursday. Is she going to stay in yellow the whole way through? It's distinctly possible. Martin Fourcade did it last year, having won the first 3 races, was never touched.
She's picked up some good time now, Patrick. Remember, she was 4 seconds ahead of Sanova. Now she's 15 seconds ahead coming into the range.
Well, her routine has confused the cameraman. Should know by now that she often takes the middle one first. So 5 out of 5, good start, 7:22. She's going to set a new mark, and she's going to be comfortably inside after a very conservative start. Watch the time clock, 20.7 the margin. She has almost gained a penalty loop over everyone else who's gone before her, but Tomrasheva is the first of the big
position and just trying to be as relaxed and easy as possible.
There's Anna Crawford. Canadians with a new waxing wagon. Did you see that?
I did.
Now, if you look at the Norwegians or the Swedish one, I think that comes in at around 200,000 in terms of pounds. The Canadians have managed to put one together for 20k, and
that's good.
He's the man in charge of their waxing this year. So we'll see whether it makes any difference. Certainly, they'll be delighted with Crawford. Dancer Tyrrell Eckhoff said she'd make up for the fact that she hasn't been to a party for 5 years.
It's a strange life in a way. You travel around the world, of course you do, but all the time focused on training. The training is serious, has to be the best in the world.
Now, Preutz for Germany. Are we going to see a better season for the Germans. It would be hard to get worse, wouldn't it?
It would, and I think this team is growing. Preutz, interestingly, at the Olympics, in the individual, she was pulled out of that race. She missed 2 and then 3, so 5 minutes penalty. And I don't always agree with coming out of races, but she had more to give in the other races. And because she was so young, they probably pulled her out after that.
Well, the going was pretty tough out in Sochi, and there's no doubt that one race had an effect on the next race. And someone as young as her, I think it was a sensible decision. Save yourself for later on.
They wouldn't have done that had they had so many other strong cards, but I think because the team was the weakest it's ever been at the Olympics since women came into the Olympic Games in '92.
First shot did go wide, so that explains that. Now, here we go with Gabriela Sukalova. Perhaps we can just pick up on her speed coming into the shoot. She's gone into second place in terms of speed, 13 seconds down on Daria Domracheva, who was only 3.5 seconds clear of the rest at the top of the hill. So Domracheva has got a pair of very slick skis on her feet, if we can judge by that. Or she just took the first kilometre very, very steady.
Possibly. I think Alfred Eder has got the drills on the range from Domracheva. She's shooting a lot faster. She's coming in and exiting the range faster. So there's certainly seconds pulled back there.
Well, that's not bad at all. 7:35 has just gone, so Sukalova's only going to be 10 seconds or so, maybe 15 at the outside the best time so far, but she'll move into the top 3. Oberhofer shooting, Usanova, who started the race on her second shoot now.
This is a great performance from Oberhofer. She showed her, well, her mettle, her potential at the Olympics. 4th, I believe it was, with a 0-0 shoot. One penalty, Usanova within the the stand position.
Sophie Boy could start the day off in style. 2 more shots. Number 9 has missed. Number 10 goes down, but that turns a very good result into, well, I'm sure it will still be respectable, but it could have been excellent. And she'll be a little bit frustrated with that as we watch Tiril Eckhoff. This is Norway's best chance. 7:35 Domracheva's time. She's still pretty level, probably 10 seconds behind, even if she hits all 5. But there's no doubt she cannot afford a miss.
I think, Patrick, looking at the early form with Makarainen and Domracheva, I think it's Eckhoff is one of the only few who can match them in ski speed and in shooting speed.
Good start.
There's
Good
a brother.
Start. Nice to see Alexander Oss racing this morning. Didn't see much of him last year. Skiing well, skiing very well.
Well, this is Tiril Eckhoff is skiing brilliantly well, so straight away she's up.
A couple of seconds outside Eckhoff, but it's not going to happen today with those 2 misses. Here comes Domracheva. Is she going to put the pressure on Makarainen? Now, Makarainen, Mike, do you think she'd like to have gone before Domracheva, or will she be happy starting after and getting some feedback?
I think she will be happy going behind her, getting that information. Although often you just want to run your own race, but when it comes to the final lap, she wants those split times. If she has to pull back, say, 5 seconds, it gives her an advantage. There's her faster shooting, but there's risk.
Well, she saved some 10 seconds on most in the range alone, and now she's got a 26-second penalty loop to pay. 16:09. She's still going to be inside Boy's time, and comfortably so. I'm not quite sure what was that she was throwing off to the side. Nowakowska. Now she took a fall on that first lap, and as Mike said, made sure she went forwards rather than backwards to protect the rifle. It paid off in the prone position. Shouldn't make any difference in the stand.
Her time's good, Patrick, when you consider she had that fall. She cleared the 5 shots in the pro, now she's missed the last standing. Shemarenko never ever pushes the pace. Her brain will not let her fire too fast, certainly to the first shot.
Well, it's good discipline for an individual race, but if she wants to win sprints, She might have to take 5 seconds off that shooting time because she threw away her chance of getting level with Daria Domracheva. Vitkova is quick as well. This is an impressive time. 2 more targets to go. She's still got 15 seconds to get inside Daria Domracheva. Good shooting, good drills, and she's in lane 6, so she's not got far to go before the clock will stop. And she may well challenge Daria Domracheva. It's going to be close. 34, 35, 1 or 2 seconds outside. Not much more than that. In fact, the time ticking away, taking a long time to get the momentum up. 4.9 in the end, but that's a promising start for Vitkova. Hildebrand, the best of the Germans on paper, certainly the best of the Germans in the individual 2 days ago. This looks solid. Good shooting.
She's such a good shot, and quite steady when it comes to the shooting routine. But it's such a pity she can't find, say, 10 seconds, 5 seconds a lap more in the ski speed.
We may have picked up on Rosanna Crawford just coming off the penalty loop, so that's cost the Canadian not her best day today after a really good start to the season. Franziska Preuss starting to struggle. Those last couple of shots are so tough.
You know, she must have realized there was a real chance. She was very frustrated with that performance. Domracheva's not looking quite as sparky as she did in the 15-kilometer.
Yeah, I think she looks tired, and I think even though she did take a fall in the individual, she looked tired on the last lap of that. I'm not sure she's fully recovered. Still stays smooth. I like the arm position.
And you know, her background in dance, the strength through the ankles, her balance, it really is good. And that's why she's so smooth on her skis as well.
Now Sakala, she's halfway there, and this is quick. Oh, that's going to be expensive. She can't afford another miss. It misses, and that's her chance of a win gone. There's her chance of a top 10. And there's her chance of a top 15. Disappointing finish from Sukalova.
Well, the other interest in her life, maybe getting a little bit in the way of her sport, and the results showing it at the moment.
Early days.
Yeah, it is early days. Makarainen just coming in for the prone position. Her ski speed is 6.5 seconds ahead of Domracheva. Oberhofer throwing her chances.
Yeah, she needed a clear shoot to make top 10. Makarainen, an early mistake from last year's champion. That opens it up a little bit and means that we're going to have a race between her and Domracheva. We'll wait for the times. Domracheva has come out of the first shoot. Now Tirolekov. Domracheva on 7:35 after that first shoot. Plenty of time in hand.
A minute in hand. What a great day for Ekhoff.
This is the toughest of all. Oh, that was a miss by a long, long way. And I wonder whether that's going to cost her a chance of a win. Domracheva has a 1-minute lead over everyone who started, but only 6 started in front of her. So don't read too much into this at the moment. But, Mike, it's like her feet are glued to the snow. She can hardly move. I think she's got lactate poisoning. I've never seen her move so slow. Maybe there'll be a bit of spark for the last 200 meters, but it does not look like a winning performance from Daria Domracheva.
It wouldn't surprise me, Patrick, the way she glided down off the hill. I don't think those skis are gliding well at all. The speed, she didn't have momentum down the hill, even though she was going far left.
But remember, on the first lap, she made up a lot of time on the last 2 downhills, so that would make you think that the skis were going well.
Well,
maybe she's not moving because the skis are doing all the work for her. We'll see. Into the finish for Daria Domracheva, 22:47. She's going to be comfortably inside that, over a minute inside, so it looks good at this stage. But how convincing was that last lap to you? 1:02 the margin for Daria Domracheva, looking for a second win in succession this season and looking to stay in yellow. We know that her main rival Makarainen has missed. We know that Tyrrell Eckhoff, who was ahead of her in terms of time, has missed. So it's really a ski race between those three at the moment. And Makarainen, of course, has to clear the last 5 to stay in the race. Dorothy Vera.
Vera, talented, often one of the best shots in the day. And look at her time. Fast shooting, deliberate, positive.
That's good. That is good. We have a new challenger. Who said it was going to be Makarainen and Domracheva all the way through the season? Not so far. Vera is only going to be, 2 seconds outside the best time? Not much more than that. 3.9 the margin.
That's good.
And shooting
5 kilometers.
20:41 the leading time at the moment. Here we go with Simerenko. 15:30 now. She is in time. She's inside Eckhoff's time. Eckhoff 7 seconds up on Domracheva, so the Norwegian is having a flying run. She's yet to miss a target this season. She could be going into yellow because she has got the clear and she's going to challenge for the lead almost certainly. 3rd place in the individual, the 1st place here. That could put pressure on Domracheva at the top of the table. And if Simerenko continues to shoot like that all the way through the year, she could do what Helena Ekholm did when she won the overall title and really win it by shooting.
And well, look at Vitkova, 10 out of 10, 100% hit rate, and that's going to be what,
even quicker.
15 seconds ahead of Simerenko.
Well, she's still got a way to go. Vitkova certainly identified as one of the faster skiers after the race at the start of the season. So she's in the running. Eckhoff is there as well. And this is very good news for the season, Mike, because I think a few were worried that no one else would get a lick in other than Finland's #1 Makarainen and, of course, Tarja Domracheva. But Vitkova now has put herself in a position to win this one. 7.1 seconds up. Simerenko in 2nd. Eckhoff pushed all the way down to 3rd. And a fair margin outside. Hildebrand. She's not going to be far off if this goes down. Good shooting. Oh, that sounded like a hit. It must have been a split round because there was a chink of the hit. And unfortunately for her, the last target denying her, and that's her chance of a podium gone.
It is indeed. It was interesting after the 15-kilometer when you looked at Domracheva's and Makarainen's ski time, almost 2 minutes ahead of the next fastest skier. And I think that's why so many people were saying it's just 2 people in the races. But no, the sprint is different. It's very, very different. And because Domracheva and Makarainen are so strong in their skiing technique and in their bodies, they can last that 45-minute race, the 15-kilometer. But they are easily matched.
21:45 the time for Preutz. We're also waiting for Tyrrell Eckhoff to come across the line. She's on her last lap. So Preutz some 1:12, 1:13 off the leading time. A mistake from Karin Oberhofer. Does well to stay on her feet in a situation like that, but she lost a lot of momentum. Sukalova coming up the hill behind her, 38.8. We're also waiting for Vitkova of the Czech Republic to come through, and Vitkova's in a very, very strong position at the moment. Tyrrell Eckhoff at the back of this group of 3, just tucked in behind Sukalova, and that's a really good athlete to have to chase. Now needs some nifty drills, get on the inside, try and get ahead before that final right-hand corner.
Well, she's getting roadblocked a little there, but I think by taking 2 seconds of Domracheva's time to that point, Patrick, in what, less than a kilometre, it does show us maybe that it was Domracheva's physical condition that was letting her down.
So Sukalova pushed wide, and Tyrrell Eckhoff nips through on the inside, drops down into the stadium now. 200 meters to go. Eckhoff still lying in 3rd place after the 2nd shoot, some 11 seconds off the lead of Vitkova, but only 4 seconds behind Simerenko, who started some 5 minutes after her. So it's all about putting pressure on those who've started behind her. Eckhoff with 100 to go now into the finish. A podium place waiting for her. Oberhofer will be delighted with 2nd place at the moment. Eckhoff 0-1, 0-0 could well have brought her the win here in Ostersund. But I think we could be looking at a podium finish. 9.5. Now, when she left that chute, Mike, how far ahead of Domracheva was she? She was only 7 seconds, so 2 seconds off Domracheva on the last lap. Another miss from Mäkäräinen means she's not going to win. Now, the question is, will she get into the top 5? She's got some skiing to do. Vitkova 4.8 clear. She was 7.1 clear of, in fact, she was 11 clear.
She's not going to do it.
So Ekhoff might just hang on. That would be a phenomenal finish from the Norwegian.
Oh, Vitkova needs to. She needs information out there. She's not going to get it by snow plowing over this top of this little hill.
Well, if Tora Berger taught the Norwegian team anything, it is fight to the line, and Ekhoff certainly seemed to be doing that. That reminded me of Berger's charge here back in 2008 in the World Championships when she was chasing Magdalena Neuner in almost every race.
That is so true. But the Norwegian team have always said this girl is fearless. She is. She can punish herself. She doesn't care about much, and she'll push till she drops.
Well, there you see the standings after the second shoot. I think we're going to see a few changes. Domracheva has been pushed down into second place in the finish, with Ekhoff coming through. Vitkova delighted with her shooting, wearing bib number 26. Now, Dorothy Vera is not out of this, Mike. After the first shoot, Vera is in third position, 3.9 behind Domracheva's time. But Domracheva missed. We know about Mäkäräinen, who's missed. We know Tyrrell Ekhoff missed. So there's a massive opportunity here for Dorothy Vera. What a brilliant junior she was. And with Lukas Hofer, who's not only her teammate, but also her partner, as Italy are going places.
I think especially the Italian women's team, well, they landed last season, but they seem to have come into this season even stronger.
2 more to go. 15-18. She's going to beat that. Oh, fantastic shooting from Vera. Victory could be snatched from the Czechs or the Norwegians. We're not quite sure which one of them is going to lead. And don't forget that Simonenko's still out there.
What a race. Well, there's Simonenko. I don't think she's going to hold the pace. She had the advantage going out of the stand shoot. And the perfect shooting. Well, she's not going to make it.
No, she's looking a little sluggish as well. 21.30 on that corner. And we'll just make a note of how long it's taking most of them from that point in.
I think and the strength of Ekhoff in the last 2.5, she was given a sniff, a chance at a victory, and she went for it. Of course, she didn't know what was going on behind her.
21.35 was the time that Simonenko was after. You know, she's not skied her best on this last loop, but I think it's an indication that Ekhoff has flown. She's lost a lot of time, 25 seconds, plus another 5, so 30 seconds. Perhaps Simonenko taking a fall on the way round. Vitkova of the Czech Republic just misses out. She's lost 15 seconds to Ekhoff on that last lap. So slowly we're deducing that Tyrrell Ekhoff has turned on the afterburners for her last 2.5K and has done a lot of damage. You've got to remember, Mike, it's only 2.5K. To take 15 seconds off in that amount of time is phenomenal.
At this level, it is quite phenomenal. And just looking, Ekhoff 14.8 behind Vera as she left the stand shoot. So advantage Vera.
Amanda Lightfoot just going through. You may have picked up on the British suit. We're now waiting for Mäkäräinen goes through, 12.6 behind. Now there's a chance. There's a chance that she could get herself into a strong position. She's made up a lot of time.
Huge amount of time. She was 28 behind, now 12. But of course that's on a different athlete because Vera has come through the range since.
Not looking so steady on her feet. Still, the news out there is that Dorothy Vera is the woman to beat, who's still out on the course. She's got a good lead, well, a lead of 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds over Vitkova coming out of the range for the last time. So that means that she's got some 14 seconds to play with over Tyrrell Eckhoff, who is the leader in the finish. Vitkova lost 15. We saw Vaya Simarenko lost 25, 30 seconds to Tyrrell Eckhoff. What about Vera?
Well, Vera, I think might be able to just hold it. 14 is a huge advantage, but the attack that Tyrrell Eckhoff gave over the final 2.5, hard to beat, and I think it will be tight.
Well, we'll be able to give you some feedback. I can tell you that Vera, who left the range with 3.5 to spare over Vitkova, has lost 2 of those seconds, so she's lost a lot of time. Now only 9.8 ahead of Tyrrell Eckhoff. It's still looking good for Norway, but maybe Vera is saving something in the tank for the last 200 meters or so. She's going to need it on those last couple of climbs. Here comes Dorothy Vera. Watch the time. 2.2. 2.2.
Nope.
Clear.
But yes, so she's
well, she's 2.2 the wrong side of Vitkova, so that means that she's only got some 4 seconds, not even that. She's got 3 seconds advantage over Tyrrell Eckhoff at the moment.
She's not going to do it.
I'm not sure she's going to be able to hold on to that, because Eckhoff really attacked this section. She goes wide, and that's a sign that there's not a lot of strength left in the legs. Normally should be very neat and tight on that line.
And standing very tall as well as she exited the corner.
Marine Boyer coming in to finish for France, 1-0, pretty much standard. Remember, no one won a sprint event in the women's with more than 1 miss. So at least she keeps a 90% hit rate for the day. 1:08 off the pace. That's not a bad run at all. Not a bad run at all. Now, what's Mäkäräinen done over the closing stages of the race? After the second shoot, Mäkäräinen down in 6th position, 28 seconds off the lead of Dorothy Vera. Eckhoff on 21.35 is safe. Vitkova on 21.40 misses. No, she doesn't. She's okay. Mäkäräinen going into 3rd, ahead of Domracheva. So the battle for the yellow bib in the World Cup is getting closer and closer. But neither of the 2 favourites have managed to win here today. It's going to go either to Tyrrell Eckhoff or to Dorothy Vera of Italy, who is approaching the finish. Should be in within the next couple of minutes. Mäkäräinen only 7.6. That's a phenomenal last lap she's put in.
Well, remember back in Le Grand Bonnard last...
Domracheva separated by only 1 place. Then... Domracheva will remain in yellow for tomorrow's pursuit. Here comes Dorothy Vera, and now 7.3 outside. So she perhaps might pacing it a little wrong. Could it be the conditions, or do you think maybe just pushing too hard too soon?
Well, you know, with the machine-made snow, you get the big granules like sugar, and you could certainly see at the turnaround point that's very deep snow now, and that gives away under your ski. It compresses in, so without a doubt it's slower than certainly the beginning of the race. Don't think it's the biggest factor, though. I think she's paced it wrong. She had to push hard to be in the race, but really struggling now with her balance or movement. Zingerle there in the foreground, Fabre in the background, both top athletes themselves in the day.
Well, she's got to stay within 7 seconds of the leader if she wants to get on the podium, and it's really Mäkäräinen's time of 21.43 that she's after. She's only got 3 seconds remaining for Dorothy Vera. I think she's just going to miss the podium. Down into 4th. Oh, so unlucky. And Vera 4th, Domracheva 5. And that means that Mäkäräinen is split by a full position. That could make a lot of difference when it comes to who leads the World Cup at the end of the day. But a great race from Dorothy Vera. We know she's a talent, but she just needs, you've got to save something for the last lap, because the races are won and lost there on so many occasions. It's not all about the shooting. So great news for Eckhoff. She survives as the race leader. Well, most of the big names are in here in Ostersund in the women's sprint event. I can't see too many changes, but we'll just keep a careful eye out for some of the later starters who've gone well. Magdalena Guisgon, I can tell you, is doing very well. She started number 49, went through the first shoot in 7th position. She's not in the top 7 or 8 going through the second shoot, but at least she started well. But at the moment, it's Tiril Eckhoff of Norway who leads, 21:35 the leading time. Mike, an uncanny amount of changes between the 5 kilometre and the 7.5 kilometre stage. Do you explain that by saying it's early season and some of them haven't got the race stamina yet, or are there other factors?
I honestly think you can see that everyone seems to be, their skis are hitting, whether it's little stones in the track or not, I don't know, but so many of the athletes in that final pen are catching something. But further out on the track there, I honestly think that it is now a factor where it is soft like this. It's causing some of the athletes to do that, and it is getting a little more tricky on the track, and that hurts when you hit these big machine-made lumps. Been there. But, and maybe the enthusiasm, you're pushing your first lap hard at the beginning of the season, your second lap, and it's really over-pacing for what your body condition is at this moment in terms of racing.
Anaïs Bescon, who won in Pachuca, the sprint event there. That was one of the biggest surprises of last season, but she's got good potential.
Good momentum. She kept working on the first part of that hill and catches the speed in return.
That's a really good example of how good alpine technique, good downhill technique can gain you time. She did nothing. She just had a cleaner line, stayed balanced, stayed low, and look at the margin she's put into the racers around her. A good 15 meters gain from doing very little extra.
Huge gain, and when then you're carrying the momentum down as well. One athlete we've missed because the cameras were on Makarainen. It's bib number 32 who started just ahead of Makarainen. Taya Grigorin, she's had the perfect shoot in 7th place.
That's after the second shoot, and we'll try and pick up on her position. Yeah. She's still 7th after the finish, so she's held her own on that last loop. Bescon with one miss, 1:18 behind. Take what, 30 seconds off that, and she would. Yeah. Horn of Norway. 1-1. In days gone by, that might have been all right, but the standard of women's shooting is so good now that 90% generally required, and better required, to win a race.
And I think ahead of Horn at the moment, Crawford, again, Rosanna Crawford is placing in the top 50. We see it more and more often. She really is going to be a name to push the best, I believe. Maybe we need a bigger run-out pen.
But there aren't too many who know they can afford a miss and still have a chance of winning. All those in Crawford's level know that if they want to win a race, they have to shoot perfect.
Yes, and in a sense, that adds a little bit, well, it's the same for everyone. I was going to say it adds a bit more pressure on the shooting.
Guisdon with 2 misses in the stand. That's why she disappeared from the leaderboard after that second shoot.
Strong skiing though,
yeah, lots of experience as well. She's been a good shot all the way through her career, really.
And for British fans, it's just Amanda Lightfoot missing 2 in the prone, sadly. And just try and update on the stand shoot, still to come in.
Well, I hope the crowd stays. Certainly 1 or 2 starting to leave the stadium. That's one of the other problems with this format that they insist on using, insist on putting the best first. I guess you've got to give the best the advantage. But come the cross country, it doesn't matter with the best starting last, does it, Mike? And there's no doubt that those races just get more and more exciting as the race goes on. And
it does make sense. If your world ranking goes in reverse order, then the conditions are the same for those 30, the same 14, 15 minutes. It's not going to change dramatically.
So if you were head of the IBU, is this one thing you would change and put put the favourites in the last group?
I think I would really consider it, but I've been there and I've always disagreed with it. But now I can see there is sense, because in the cross country often it is the worst group to go in terms of the snow conditions. But because they're on a reverse world ranking, it doesn't disadvantage them within their own peer group. So I can see it differently now. But the good thing about the IBU, they listen to their coaches, and their coaches don't want it. And they'll say, well, we'll keep on listening to our coaches. So you have to take your hat off to them, absolutely, for doing that.
But when you say coaches, are they talking just about the top 3 teams? Or
Maybe.
So there's the leaderboard, the top 10. Ekhoff, Vitkova, Mäkäräinen, the leading 3. Mäkäräinen on the podium for the second race in succession. And that should mean that she is in yellow. I haven't quite done the calculations because, of course, the points at the top slightly different. It's going to be close. They may be equal on points, actually. Might set Mike to that task. Domracheva, of course, we have to wait and see where she finishes, but I think she's going to be 5th today, having won the race 2 days ago. Ekhoff is our day's winner, and deservedly so. 21:35. She was asked whether she was going to fill Tora Berger's boots, and she said that is a tough task. She's gone a long way to doing it already in the first weekend of the season. So congratulations to her. I think Norway will be delighted with that. Their concern, though, Mike, will be that they don't have the strength in depth that they've had in the past.
At the moment, can't disagree with that. I think they're underperforming, certainly on the shooting range at the moment. If Solendal missing targets, Vanna Horn missing it, in reverse order of how they finished today. So advantage Ekhoff, but not by much. And that's why Gusner, she sniffed a chance there, and she really attacked out of the first shoot.
And actually, Mike, if you look at the top 5 positions at the moment, as we see Lightfoot going through the 6.3 kilometre stage, if you look at the top 5, we have the 5 fastest skiers in the women's tour in the top 5 positions at the moment. It's not often that happens.
It's not, and Mäkäräinen nearly disproving the trend where you can't really get by with missing 2 and winning a race. She was only 7.6 seconds off winning, and I think that shows the ski speed that Mäkäräinen carries now. Domracheva, I don't know what happened today. She was definitely off the boil, off form.
Will she recover before tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, she's had 2 days off since the individual. I can't believe she will have done too much heavy training yesterday.
I think it can be an aspect in the early races where there's been an awful lot of heavy training carried out, and you tend to carry a bit of fatigue into the first races.
And I also think she will have poisoned herself with that last lap, because she was tying up badly in the individual, and she had a fall, so she had to work extra hard. So I think that certainly will have taken it out of her. But it'll be interesting to see how she goes tomorrow. At the moment, she will be the 5th person away. None of the late starters making too much of an impression. Vanessa Hintz, in fact, she's outside the top positions as well. Just looking to see who the best of the late starters is, Mike, after the second shoot.
Oh, well, there's a good result again from Theresa Hauser. Oh, it's a top 15 result. I thought it was better than that. I thought it should be closer. So she's lost, what, 14 seconds?
The 28, slight figure, using good tempo up the last climb. She's shot okay today, only 47 behind. And that could well, if she can pick up a couple of seconds, she could get herself into the top 8. And then she'll be in what essentially is the second group in the start of the pursuit. There'll be a wave going off early on. The first 5, as we mentioned, starting within 9 seconds of each other. And then there's a group that will have Simarenko, Grigorin, Oberhofer, and Latuye could find herself in good company at the start of tomorrow's race. I guess we also have to consider, if you spend too much on the last lap today, you're not going to have much to give at the end of tomorrow's race.
No, this is a wonderful ski time. When you look at, as you said, those 2 penalties there, she really is smashing herself out there on the track.
The Voshka was the name we were after, from 1998.
That's the name.
And Latuye into 10th, doesn't quite gain the seconds, but another second would be worth it. Well, we're coming towards the closing stages of the women's sprint here in Ostersund, and already those who predicted that Makarainen or Tomracheva would win just about every race this season have been proved wrong, because we have a new winner on the top of the podium. Tiril Eckhoff of Norway. Don't expect to suddenly see her producing top 5 after top 5, but bronze medal in the Olympics in the mass start. That was a bit of a surprise, but showed us that she had the speed if she could shoot. And even from 2 days ago, we saw the speed she produced, and she was on that list just below the Makarainens and Tomrachevas. So fantastic result. Don't think we need to be too surprised, but for it to come this early on, I think is fabulous for her.
Oh, and the work she's put into the summer has paid off already. 6th, 7th place in the 15 kilometre, and today a victory. I think we'll see her in the top bracket from now on. She'll have the odd bad day, I'm sure. It's you can't shoot a 90% every day, sadly, in this sport, or 80% often is difficult to do, depending on the conditions. Pisareva, that is another good Belarus performance. The 26-year-old Pisareva. She's had a 27th position last year in the sprint competition in Hochfilzen. Lovely shooting score again from the French, and the 21-year-old, not the favoured athlete to do well, but probably one of the better French results today.
Well, the coach giving her the information that she's 16th. Had he said, if you can gain a second, you'll gain 4 places, I think he might have got a better response. Nothing wrong with what he did say, but he could have chosen to see her get better and better as the seasons go on. Pisareva of Belarus, 21-17, 18 at the moment. Still got a way to go. One more climb to come for her. And it's about 30 seconds from that last left-hand turn that brings them down into the stadium.
The French team have had a good day, Patrick, and another result, of course, La Tullier, we saw her missing 2, but finishing 10th, Boilet 11th, and some really good performances, consistently good. Béchon 18th. So possibly one of the better teams again today, because Makarainen's a lone racer, if you like, scores the points for the Finnish team. And same with Tomracheva.
Vincent, another good clear shoot, and most of the athletes will score 1 or 2 clear shoots in the whole season. So to get one so early on is a really encouraging sign for her. There are a few that get 6 or 7, not much more than that. But alpine skiing with Matt Chilton from Lake Louise, the women's downhill. That's an absolutely thrilling race. So do try and watch that if you can. Hopefully you'll join us for tomorrow's pursuits, because they should be the best races of the season so far. In the men's race, it's going to be Martin Fourcade who gets underway first. In the women's, it will be Tiril Eckhoff. Kaisa Makarainen won't be far behind, though. Another good run from her, only 7.6 off the winning time, despite missing 2 targets. She could have notched up her first win, but she's not been off the podium so far, and as a result, she will be in yellow tomorrow. Veronika Vitkova equals her result from Hochfilzen last year. 2nd place, shooting 0-0. She is a star in the making. And a lot of pressure going on to Sokolova, who's been the Czech #1 for, what, 2, 3, 4 years now. So some of the money may be coming Vitkova's way, and some of the fame. So Lillehammer are getting prepared for their finale, the men's ski jumping, and that is the view. Not for the faint-hearted to let yourself go down that in-run, but we're looking for jumps of well over 130 metres there. And the Norwegians in the crowd will already be celebrating the win of Tiril Eckhoff, who gets her first World Cup success. On what we've seen today, there should be many, many more. She is skiing brilliantly, and this comes on the back of a very good pre-season. She was consistently the best Norwegian in all the trial races. Well, thanks for your company. Do join us tomorrow. From Mike and myself, it's good night.